Hey everybody, first of all, we just want to say that we super miss you. I hope you're having an incredible break. If you do not know me and have never seen my face before, my name is Liz and I get to serve here with Chi Alpha. And before we get started, I'm pretty sure everyone has played this game before, but I want you to put 5 fingers up in the air. All right? I see you, I don't see you, but I'm assuming that you have 5 fingers up in the air and we are going to play the game, put a finger down. And the way that you're going to do this is I'm going to say put a finger down if, and you're going to put a finger down if you have done that thing. Now, we've been talking about disciplines and stuff, and this week I am talking about worship. So I'm going to ask you to put a finger down if you've ever experienced this in worship. Now, I understand like not a lot of people have grown up in church, or you may have never even gone to church, and that is okay. I just want you to participate. So if you've seen of this or heard of this, I want you to play, okay? So, hands up, put a finger down. Put a finger down if you have seen someone raise their hands in worship. Put a finger down if you went to a church that they never used instruments. Put a finger down if they only sang old-timey hymns. And I want you to put a finger down if you watch someone run around your church. Put a finger down if you had one song in church that you absolutely loved and they couldn't figure out the name of the song after church. All right, if you have all your fingers down, I want you to go ahead and comment on this. But yes, we were talking about worship today, and a lot of the times we think that worship is just singing inside of church, and I'm here to tell you, it is not. I know it's crazy, but worship is way more than just the praise and worship that we have on Sunday mornings. I actually have a definition for you. So if you want to write this down, I'm going to read it to you. And it says, worship is the human response to a divine initiative. I'll say it one more time. Worship is the human response to a divine initiative. Now I know what you're thinking. What on earth is she saying? Now I'm going to break it down for you in John 4:23. So John 4:23 says, yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is the Spirit, and his worshipers must worship in spirit and in truth. So today we're going to break it out into two main points that we as children of God, or people who want to get to know God, we worship him not just through singing, but we are worshiping him in spirit and in truth. And we're going to break that down. So first is we worship in spirit. So I want you to comment right now what you think worshiping in spirit means. When I first heard this, I honestly was a little freaked out. I was like, okay, worship in spirit. How do I explain that? It's not like I'm Casper the ghost pretending to be a spirit or whatever. I am worshiping in spirit in what way? And this is actually saying that we worship in spirit by having connection with Jesus and only worshiping him. So if you are a football fan, go ahead and send a football emoji or something through the screen. I am like a giant Vols fan, like a big Vols fan, and my family is too. And unfortunately, I know before you even say anything in the comments, I know that the Vols are not that great, all right? But I am dedicated to this team because I love the Vols. We would go to football games as kids. We would watch it on the screen. We would have football parties. I would wear Vols outfits. But also, I was friends of people who went to Arkansas and they lived in Arkansas, so I liked the Razorbacks. So people would ask me, well, what team are you rooting for? And I would say all the time, oh, I love Tennessee Vols, but I also root for Razorbacks. And I would get so much hate back from people all the time. They would be like, how can you be a Vols fan and love the Razorbacks? That's weird. Or the Vols and the Razorbacks would play against each other and I wouldn't even know who to root for because I had no idea which team I was actually on. And when we are worshiping God in spirit, that's what we need to understand, is we are on God's team and we're not on anybody else's team. And I want to ask you right now, is there anything that you are putting before God? See, when I'm a Vols fan, I should only root for the Vols. When I love Jesus, I should only have God as my number one priority. When we worship God in spirit, that means we are connected to him by only surrendering ourselves to just him and him alone. We don't have any other idols, and we give everything that we have to him. And Matthew 4:10 says, "You must worship the Lord your God and serve only him." So I want you to think, are you serving only God? And the next is we worship in truth. So in truth means you worship according to the whole counsel of God and God's word. So you know who God actually is. So I want to know, you can comment, who is your best friend? My best friend is my fiance, Derek. It'd be weird if he wasn't my best friend because we're about to marry each other. But Derek knows me practically to the T. So for example, if he asks me, "Liz, are you fine?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." He knows immediately that I'm not fine because he knows my emotions. He knows the way that I interact with him. He knows all of those things about me because he has connected relationship with me because we're about to get married. And when we're worshiping Jesus in truth, that means that we are getting to know Jesus on an intimate, connected level, and we are spending time with each other. Derek and I would not be a really great fiance, or we would not be getting married if we didn't spend quality time with each other. It would actually make no sense at all. But with Jesus, that's what we want to do when we worship him and we practice the discipline of worship. We need to spend time with God. And that could look so many different ways. That could be through your bento time. That could be spending time in praise and worship, as in like playing a song or whatever. It could be praying. It could be fasting. I want to challenge you guys over this next part of the break, to do two things for me. One, I want you to ask God, is there anything before you? So do you idolize anything before God? The second thing I want you to do is for the next 5 days, spend at least 5 minutes in worship. What I mean is play a worship song and pray while you're listening to a worship song and add that into your bento time. Hey, I love you guys so much. We miss you a lot, and I hope you had a fantastic break. See you later.